and welcome to another episode of Esports Connected. I am your host, Megan Van Petten, and I am so excited to have Titus Walker, one of our newest members, today on the show to learn all about what he's up to over in Virginia. Welcome to the show, Titus.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And you've recently joined the community and applied, I think, have been accepted to the leadership program.
Yes,
Not officially, but I've
told.
heard
Yeah,
through the grapevine, you
yeah,
are already a huge community leader and quite an OG. You go all the way back to 1995.
yeah.
So welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about the Ultimate Endgamer League.
Yeah. So we started about 4 years ago, and the concept is more about understanding and mastering the art of gaming. So we look at gaming from more of a artistic expression side, where when you're playing the game, the way you play it is how you feel in that moment. And so we want to kind of demonstrate that and show that in a way that you can determine who the best gamer is based on their skills in the art of gaming. And so we kind of collectively came up with the five major competitive genres, being fighting games, sports games, shooting games, racing games, and strategy games. Created one match, if you will, out of that, where you're going to compete and try to master all of those different styles and be able to demonstrate that mastery, similar to like the UFC and how they combined all the different fighting genres and then you duke it out to figure out who's the best. We duke it out to figure out who the best gamer is. And we call that gamer the master of gaming. We call them the end gamer, which is where the Ultimate End Gamers League comes from. And so created the concept, created the word. We own the word, but the end gamer is the master of gaming, and so we're very excited about it. It's done really well.
I remember when I was in my graduate school program and it was a master's program, and I was like, so I'll be a master?
Exactly.
It's just fun. Mastery is fun. And,
Yeah.
who's to say what mastery is? I don't think I've heard a lot of mastery of gaming. So
Yeah.
are you saying that you bought that domain or as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. So we created the IP, if you will. We created the system of how to determine who the master of gaming is, and we've started to kind of build out. We have more of a way of determining the skills that people are good at, and so an example would be like in shooting games, you're working on real life skills, hand-eye coordination, decision making, split second
Yeah.
movement, holding angles. And whereas in fighting games, it's like pattern recognition, understanding the defense or understanding your opponent, that type of stuff. And so we found ways to kind of test those skills and really put them together in a way that works really well. We actually recently partnered with AIM Labs, and we're building out a system of being able to calculate someone's skills in a fighting game, a sports game, a shooting game, racing game, and a strategy game, all collectively, and determine how well they are in the mastery of gaming. And so we're really excited to really bring this out to market. Like I said, we've been doing it for 4 years and really mastered it, to where now we feel like it's as easy as understanding, basketball or football from the outside.
That's really cool. Is there a physical component you ever see being part of your
Absolutely.
play? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Isn't
100%.
that fun?
Yeah. I mean, sitting down, like a lot of the esports system, the way it works now, you're going to sit down, you could practice the same game over and over for 8 hours straight and then go into the tournament, and you can play in that tournament the same game you were just practicing. But there's nothing like having to play a different game, lose in it, and then sit down and play the next game right away, and then go into the next game and then into the next game, and having to remember all those buttons and all of the parts of the game, and really understand, how you're supposed to play it. What was the game plan before going in? And it feels more like a sport, where,
Yeah.
it's like boxing. You get punched in the mouth and you still got to remember the game plan, right? In
Yeah.
this, you lose a game that you hope to win. It's like getting punched in the mouth, and then you got to sit down and play the next one, and you got to remember that game plan still.
Yeah, really. That's interesting. Um, I'm really excited to learn and hear more. It's it's not anything I really have heard
Yeah,
of.
yeah, it's the only one that
So
exists. So it's
yeah,
just us.
yeah. Well, congratulations. Now, are you the founding father of this?
Yeah, yeah. I created the system. Me and my wife actually created it in my kitchen. Um, like I said, about 4.5 years ago, we kind of built it out and spent. We were up till like 6 a.m. for like 3 4 days straight trying to figure out how it could work and determining how you could go from one game to the next so quickly and all of those different things. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and real tears that happened over that.
Yes. Yeah. And you've just recently joined our community, and I saw a couple of things about you that really piqued my interest. You have quite a following already.
Yeah,
So I mean, would you consider, what is the benchmark of success? What for you personally? Because that's really what success is about, is how you feel on the inside. And I know you've had a tremendous amount of success in your career. We'll get to that. But
yeah,
what does success look like in this UEL
yeah.
esports space?
Great question. For me, success would look like people all over this country and others finding a sustainable career in esports, something
Yeah,
that they can, take care of their family with, um, that they can, buy a house and have a family doing what they love. I think gaming provides so much entertainment, and there's a lot of entertainers in the space, especially in the esports space. But I feel that they are not receiving a fair share of what they're earning. I think they're bringing in a lot more money and a lot more of a community to these games, and they're not receiving their fair share. So that's what success looks like to me, creating those opportunities for not only the gamers but the streamers, the commentators, the videographers and production stream, the stream techs, all of the people involved creating something, an industry, creating an industry. That's a big
yeah.
big ask, but that's what I'm doing.
And you've been around, you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah,
You say since 95, and it was really since you were four.
yeah.
So what were you playing when you were four? Because in 1995, not a lot of people were playing that at 4 years old.
Yeah. So my dad, he got a Sega Genesis, and we played Mortal Kombat. The exact age is a blur, but it was as soon as I could think I was playing Mortal Kombat. As soon as I could press buttons, I had a controller in my hand, and Mortal Kombat was the game of choice. It was something that really was fun for me to be able to compete against my dad. Him being a lot bigger than me, but still being
Yeah,
able to compete in a fight. um, that was just something that was so different to me, and it kind of brought me
sure.
into the space that I think a lot of gamers experience now, where they feel at home in this virtual environment more than they do, in the real world to some extent.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah. And I think it's so fun when I remember the younger I was, the more I had more dexterity. Like I had more of a chance
Yeah,
than I do now. Like I am a worse player today than I was in my teen. I was just at where was I? I can't remember. I was in an arcade and I did one of the driving.
yeah.
Uh and I'm worse. So what's up with that? How do you measure your progress? Any what's your take on that?
I think games develop differently too over time. So I don't think you're worse as much as like you don't have the time to spend to really develop the skills that are
That's fair.
necessary. I think that games have really developed since, I mean, Mortal Kombat, you could press one button and do a 20 hit combo when it
Yeah,
first started, right? And it was just the punch button. Now you have to really understand the different combos, and you have to like be able to go into training and do that research and spend that time. And a lot of times when you're older, you don't have the ability to do that, which again is I think in a way that's something that I want to fix. I mean, if we can give an opportunity where players can do this for a living truly, then they will be good until they're in their 30s, 40s, and maybe even into the 50s when we can give them the time because we're paying them for their time to do it. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the reasoning behind games, that the retirement age of a gamer is like 22 or 25 or something crazy.
Yes.
Like, and a lot of that is because like you can only do this for so long before you have to do something else. And when you start doing something else, you sacrifice the time that you put into it because, some of the best gamers, some of the best fighting game players, on the planet are still in their, early 20s, late 20s, mid 20s, whatever. But their career earnings are nothing, like nothing in
Yeah.
comparison to what they've brought into this gaming community. And I think that makes it so that they have to retire sooner than they want to. When you don't have the ability to put this much time and this much effort into it as you do when you're a kid, it's going to happen. So I don't. I mean, I'm sure you may be a little bit worse than you were then, but I doubt that you're really as bad as you think you are in comparison to how much the games have just developed, and you just aren't used to the way they play.
Those are all great points. And it's a good perspective that you have on just winning and staying in the game, like anything in life. When you're the best at something, there is no accident. You're putting in the time. You're putting in the time.
It's all sacrifice.
It's all sacrifice. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what attracted you to the association, the leadership program, the structure of building a chapter. What was there for you? Because from me getting to know you in the small time I've known you, you are a very unconventional man and found a lot of success out of the box. So it's very interesting that you're coming in and wanting to do this structured esports certificate.
Yeah. So when I came into this esports world, like I said, I've been gaming since forever, but I didn't really know about the esports world. I grew up in a different. I was very poor growing up, and spent most of my time like from my father went to jail when I was about 9, and he spent most of my childhood in prison. So we didn't have a lot of the luxuries of like when internet came out, we didn't really have internet. So it wasn't like I even knew about the online gaming experience. It was really just if I was, home playing with my brothers or whatever, that was as competitive as we got. And as I grew up, I still never really knew about it. So when I started to transition and started doing this esports thing, a lot of it I felt like I had to do on my own. So like I didn't know that there were like-minded individuals that were trying to build esports as well, right? It was just like, oh, I want to do this and I think that it's a great thing, so I'm just going to push to do it. And it really wasn't until very recently that I realized that there's a lot of other organizations out there that are trying to build up esports as well. And it wasn't just me. And so finding an organization like this of full of like-minded individuals that are really trying to push the agenda was something that was intriguing and something that was exciting for me to really get into.
Yeah. And we're glad that you found us. So we're launching our first of our kind. Oh, hi there. I think we have a skeleton.
Yeah, that's my son.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Trey.
Wow. Nice outfit, buddy.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's little Titus.
Yeah, you just never know what he's going to show up at.
His third podcast appearance. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
Was
he
that
goes
a
everywhere.
Halloween costume?
Yeah. No, he's so into skeletons. It's very weird, but Yeah, he's very into skeletons. Like he loves them. He knows every bone on the body. Like he knows the femur versus the humerus versus it's wild.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe he'll be some sort of surgeon of some sort,
He's
orthopedic. Those are the
he
bone
he
doctors.
he came to me and said he's going to be an archaeologist, and I was like, I don't know where the heck you heard that,
Oh,
but
he likes
okay,
bones.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that's cool. So is he playing the games yet?
oh yeah, yeah. He's already beaten Mario Odyssey. He's 3, and he's beaten Mario Odyssey. He can get on Roblox and play all the games on Roblox. He does all the obstacle courses on there. Um, what else? I mean, he can play a lot of different games, but mostly Mario Odyssey, Roblox. Yeah, those.
Well, it was nice to meet him. What a nice young man.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you're a family man. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You have a background in real estate,
Yep.
uh, several children. What's your secret to success?
Man, I would say probably my biggest secret to success is just research.
Yes.
I spend a lot of time looking into every part of anything that I do. So, like when I first got into real estate, I didn't just look up real estate and how to understand real estate. I dove into economics. I started taking like economics classes. I started watching all kinds of videos on the industry and the ups and downs of it, and understanding from a macro micro, like all of that, and finance, dove really deep into finance and
Yeah.
how that all works. So it was like that gave me almost like a superpower that really helped me push my career in a direction that there's nobody that could touch me. And I've kind of kept it that way my whole life. And when I dove into esports, it's the same thing. It was every bit of esports I fully understand, and I really dove into it. And having the background in real estate, where I was doing, I did everything from a 10 home community. I would be a part of like the land development, and so I did everything from a 10 home community to a 2,000 home community. And so learning those little nuances to doing all of those different things really helped me to understand fully um, that when I got into esports, I was able to kind of see it for what it was instead of all of the hype. And again, being on the outside of esports for so long, I could look at it with a fresh set of eyes and know, 4 years ago, esports was like everything, everywhere. It was like, it could do no wrong. People were spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these esports teams, and this person's buying a League of Legends team, this person's buying a Valorant, this is buying, and it was like, oh, this is gonna last forever. But me coming from the background that I had, I know that it definitely does not last forever, and that's not how it works. And
Right.
so I dove into the the real finances of these companies. Like when FaZe went public, the only thing I paid attention to is what I could see now, what their sheets looked like, what their actual finances look like, what they were actually able to do, bringing in revenue and sending out expenses. So that was what I paid attention to, and the hype is great, and you need the hype, but you also need something that's sustainable for everyone involved. You can't have something that's not sustainable for the sponsors and advertisers and expect it to last forever. Like you have to create something that they can live off of, so that now you can live off of them, right? And something that the gamers can live off of, so that you can live off of them, and the developers can live off of, so that you can live. It has to go, it has to be full circle, or it's not going to work. So that gave me that superpower. Coming into esports, I did all that research, and now, I created a system that would really be able to be that full circle, be that thing that's going to allow all the future Endgamers, gamers, developers, whatever, a true path to success.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And that's what we're trying to do as
Yeah.
well, is empower people. And we're not saying don't go to college. As a matter of fact, every chapter leader, we're encouraging them to partner with a university, because I think what a lot of people don't realize, like I'm in a post-grad program right now. My classes are $125 a semester.
Yeah.
Because I take it for no credit.
Yeah.
And that's nothing.
Yeah.
So we are encourage anybody and everyone to, find your path to, what is going to empower you to learn. Like, so I need a little bit more of a structured program. I'll read and I'll find myself, just, kind of dancing through, YouTube or Wikipedia. But if I have to be in a class where I think we got our skeleton guy back here.
Yeah. See, you gotta stay out while I'm in the meeting.
I didn't get to see him this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the routine.
Yeah.
Little Titus. Yeah, I think that from, just understanding your own way of which you can get to the next level.
Yeah.
And life is just a class. We're just one human race trying to get along here on Earth while we're in school called Earth School and being the best we can be to achieve what we need to achieve and keep leveling up, right?
Yep.
So that was exactly our design for this very first of its kind esports leadership program, and you're in the first cohort. So it's exciting, to have you. Tell me a little, do you take a lot of different certificate programs? Like or are you more of a, Zoom class, or read a book or listen to a book? What's your learning style?
Man, I read a lot, like a lot. I've probably read like somewhere near like 50 to 100 books this year. So I read a lot, and it's normally like something in regards to business, or I do a lot of like body language training, and speaking, that type of stuff. And so I would say that reading is definitely a big one, but more than that, when I was training like on finances and stuff like that, YouTube was like gold. Like going to YouTube, and you have to vet who you're listening to and who you're watching, but when you find those people that are willing to kind of share their skills, and that's kind of what the trade association has been for me, finding those people that can share their skills, and me be able to share my skills and things that I've learned, and try to help where I can, though not everybody wants your help, of course, but finding the people that are interested in working with you, and like-minded, like I said, that's really been what has helped a lot in wanting to join and wanting to be a part of it. I mean, the first week was just like constant. I had like tons and tons of meetings with people that were all just a part of it, that all wanted to find a way to help or find a way to be. And some of them weren't a part of it, but they knew of the trade association or whatever it was. And so it was awesome to really kind of find my tribe, if you will. And I feel like I did find that in the association. But as far as learning style, I will learn if you give me a week, I can learn about anything anyway. I really, my learning style is, I guess, kinetic, but not really. It's like I can, if I really want to, I can learn anyway.
And you know what? I love that answer, because I think so many people, when they're passionate about a topic, will just,
Yep.
they'll find their way. And that's what I love about this industry I have worked in so many industries, I can't even tell you, and I can't wait to come to esports next. This is our magazine for our conference. And it's just amazing. We have all of our members listed, and it's just a great takeaway to have for through the year. But I've worked in over 20 industries through that was a magazine and a membership. So I just brought here what I've done in a formula that I know works.
Yeah.
But what separates gaming and esports from any other industry I've worked in is just the passion, the commitment. I thought the fantasy sports players were connected. They play their once a year, and they do their draft and that. But there is nothing like a bond of playing video games together in community, online and in person. It's like nothing I had ever seen or experienced. And that's what I love. I love bringing a formula of a trade association community, always sharpening, taking it up a level. And then like you'll see in the middle of your program, we have our capstone event once a year. We all get together. There's meetings all over the nation and world, but getting together under our big tent where everyone's welcome. And so many people want to know, okay, who's going to be there? And I'm like, I don't know. Look at our member directory. Look at who was here last year. I don't know. Like, what should I do? I'm like, just be there.
Yeah.
I had somebody last year say, gosh, I can't remember. It was a question about meeting particular sponsors. And I was like, treat everyone the same.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who you're talking to. And that same person came to me and said, Megan, I had lunch with a real billionaire. And he's like, I took your advice. Just
you never know.
Because you never know who you're talking to. Just just be cool.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Yeah. And I think to the point you were making before, I think like the language that because it's a language. Gaming is like a language, right? And it's something that we can all speak fluently. That's why I see it as art. It is a form of art that hasn't had I don't think it's had like a true expression in a way that people fully understand yet. But anyways, I think that it's a lot like, and I work with Rock Nation a lot, and they love the way we do the gaming thing. And one of the directors, Behi, he's Jay-Z's cousin or whatever, and manager, but he says that gaming is just like the music industry was when he was coming up. It's like the wild west. Like it's like at this point in esports and gaming, nobody really knows how to make it work. So it's like nobody really knows. You have some people that are selling CDs out the back of their car, and others that are putting the CDs in a store shelf and seeing if that works. And then there's others that are just giving them away, and there's others that are, and so everybody's trying to find or make a way in the industry. And once somebody finds that the way that works, everyone will kind of latch onto it, because then at that point, and I think that a lot of people felt like it was the like having the major tournaments and events at these different locations and stuff like that. So you had like the Panda Globals and the all these major groups that thought, oh, this must be the way to do it. But I just think that there was a very key issue that they didn't really fully understand, just like in music, where if I put together a community and the community was based on Snoop Dogg's music, right? And so we build up that community, we get sponsors and advertisers, everybody comes, everybody loves that music, and they're here for that, right? If I'm never going to get to where I'm making $1 billion before Snoop Dogg is going to be like, hey, what are you doing, man? This is my, this is my music, right? It's the same with developers in their game. Like, they've spent a lot of time, effort, money, into building up this game, this IP of their own. It's theirs. It's their project. It's their art, right? And so you can't just take it and build a community on it and then call it yours and expect them to never come for you, right? Eventually they will. And I think that's what's happening a lot now.
Yeah.
And when I first got into the industry, it was the big glaring like, oh my God, this is going to be a problem. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that because this is going to be an issue. Who knows when, but it's going to be. You're not going to be able to build up these massive communities. And everybody told me like, oh, you got to do it the same way everybody else is. Why don't you do it this way? Why don't you just do a normal tournament? It's like, yeah, because you don't see what's coming, but it's coming. Like a normal tournament is going to get your community is going to be taken from you. And there's, I mean, it's in a way, it's like music, back in the day, it's how it was. Labels were very different back in the day and they weren't signing everybody. And you did have to do a lot of the stuff on your own. And you couldn't just put this stuff out and stream it and just have it blow up on, YouTube or Spotify. And so I think gaming is very much in that same place, trying to find its way. And it came up with the name esports, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and everybody ran with it and thought it was something new, but it really it hasn't evolved since its original esports tournaments in the 80s with Atari.
Yeah. Yes. I couldn't agree with you more. It's exciting and challenging
Yeah.
to be in the rush of it all.
Yeah.
I guess one of my words of wisdom is just patience.
Mhm.
Patience. I always say paciencia to the team because that's patience in Italian. Pacien, it just sounds better.
Yeah.
And we really pride ourselves on leading with a servant, mindset.
Yeah.
And truly no collaboration is really where it's at, not competition, even though at the end of the day, there is competing in gaming, but I think as a world, we're coming together with gaming. It's
Yeah.
so cool. I've never seen so many multi-generational groups of people. And, I have parents that come to me and they're like, I need to understand this because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, join us for game night. We have game night on Discord and on LinkedIn, a little place for everybody to play a little. It's like,
Yep.
You do trivia night or trivia at libraries, at bars, or wherever. You can come do. I think we had a game night on Halloween. Little Titus would have loved it. He could have worn his skills.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just fun. People that play together stay together.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the community that you build in gaming is like, it's one that, the people, everyone involved is different, right? And has different parts of them, and they all are in different industries, but they all speak that language of gaming, and there's something special about that. Like, you can find connections that you never would have thought existed, until you realize, oh wait, we have this similar thing, and this thing is a huge part of my life. I know it's a huge part of a lot of our lives, and it's an even bigger part of the next generation's lives, because they whereas I grew up kind of in the beginning of where it was like really taking off, gaming is huge now, and so a lot of people growing up now, 2 out of 3 households in the US are playing games. So it's like now it's a part of everybody speaks that language. And
Yeah.
so finding the commonalities are a lot easier if you have gaming with it.
Yeah. And, more and more people have resorted to the mobile gaming, for some of the same challenges that you had,
Yeah.
Internet or, equipment. I personally love seeing college programs getting, gaming
Yep.
labs and
Yep.
not, having to go to very far to practice and do
Yeah.
their their passion and their love and their sport. I I mean, I certainly took advantage. I took for granted, that we had a track or we had a football field, and
Yeah.
kids don't even have computer labs,
Yeah.
let alone gaming labs here in Chicago. So I am very grateful for that awareness that was raised around, like, we need to get internet for kids. We need to get them computers. We need to get them, computer labs and gaming labs and practicing, and we need to officiate this here. So that's been really fun for me to see. We definitely, as an association, took the scholastic path more than the other options that we could have taken. So we're very grateful.
Yeah, I think there's something in both paths, the scholastic and the professional side,
Yeah.
because once they're out of it, once they're out of that college, giving them something to strive for. Like I said, it's a part of my dream too, so that when they're out, right now it's like if someone says that they love video games, you're like, oh, well, you should do IT, and it's like, wait, what? Like, that's not the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same at all. Or
well, it's right away, like, who you're talking to.
yeah,
and it's okay. It's awesome. It's
yeah,
it's a vibe, that's for sure. Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that's funny. That's super funny. So what's next for UEL?
So currently we're working on a TV show where it's going to be about the ultimate Endgamer. So they're going to battle it out similar to the Ultimate Fighting Champion. Like, we're
Yeah,
following that same blueprint.
of course.
And I think, like, they're gonna basically determine who the best gamer all around is. So they're gonna they have to be good at all the different skill sets.
Yes.
And like I said, we're partnering with AIM Labs on that concept, and then we're looking to also put out we have a major tournament announcement, which I won't get into now because I realized, like, I probably shouldn't yet, but we're going to do another big tournament. This one that we're doing now is $100,000 tournament. We're actually in playoffs. So we have so we have the next week, we have the final four, and then the finals is on the 19th.
Okay.
So that's we got a lot going on right now, a lot. But
I'm excited to watch that film.
Yeah, it's going to be good. The show's going to be really good. We're really excited about it, and I think that it's going to what we really want to show is that gamers, we want to be able to put a spotlight on the diversity of gaming, and the different types of people in gaming, and help people recognize the people that aren't involved, help them see that they're all people too. And so we have really creative ways of doing that. So it's going to be, sure, it'll be about the game, but it's going to be a lot about the people too, the people involved in gaming, so that we can kind of take that stigma. I can't stand the stigma of gamers, because I just think, like, people are like, oh, they're all introverts and this and that, and it's kind of just, it's wild to me to think that you put that label, like, introverted. That's like, everybody thinks that all gamers are introverted, right? And the thing is, like, anyone that is outside of their element is introverted while outside of their element, right?
That's
so
right.
If your element is inside of this virtual world with your friends that you've never seen, and playing, and expressing yourself artistically in this world, if that's your environment, I can tell you right now, those people are not introverted when they're in their environment. Just like if I placed somebody that's never been in this virtual world in a party chat with a bunch of people they've never met, they're going to be introverted in that world. Anybody taken out of their element is introverted when they're in that new element, and they have to kind of work their way around.
That's right.
So gamers are not inherently introverted. I think a lot of the world is introverted when you're taken out of your element.
Sure.
But I think that gamers get that stigma, and then that turns into, like, you can't hire them, or you can't do this, you can't do that. And I think it's just, it's ridiculous, because they have a lot of the skills that are needed in the world today, but they're not. There's no spotlight placed on those skills. You don't understand how those skills translate yet.
Yeah. Very well put. Very, very well put. And it takes something to have that 360 view.
Mhm.
That's super cool. Because a lot of even the parents that I speak with, they just want to understand their kids.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, what I say most of the time is I say, sit with them, watch them play. They'll start talking. Don't talk. Just
Yeah.
listen. Just be with them.
Yeah.
You know, goes a long way. That's where, I talk to you about everyone communicates if you connect. You want to connect with your kid that's gaming,
Yeah.
watch them play.
Yep.
You'll connect pretty quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heck, maybe you play with them.
That's, that's another level.
The next step, right?
Prepared to lose.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a part of it. Like you expect it, a lot of parents expect their kids to go outside and play and do this and that. And it's like, okay, well then you should come inside and play with them every now and then.
That's
Right?
true. That's
It's
you're an out of the box thinker. I can't wait to see what you think about the program and the certificate that you're getting. And so people that are interested in your company, where can they find you?
at uelesports.com, uelesports.com. And then on all social medias at UEL Esports. So we're on every platform at UEL Esports. And then you can find us on uelesports.com.
Well, thank you for being on the show. Any last words you'd like to share with our friends that are listening?
No, if you're a gamer, it'd be great. Continue to, I always say outwork. I get that instead of working out, just outwork the competition and you'll always be better than everybody else. Just work harder. Outworking everybody else means you're gonna have it. So do that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for being on the show today, Titus Walker, everyone. And you'll be seeing a lot more of Titus as he's our chapter president of our Virginia chapter and leading the Forge on the East Coast. So thank you for being with us. I'm your host, Megan Van Petten. We'll see you soon.